I got written up for walking down the hallway in my own dorm. The reason? My clothing was culturally inappropriate and distracting to other residents. I'm Indian, and I wear a salwar kameez around the dorm sometimes. It's comfortable, modest, and honestly, it's just what I wear at home. The RA, Jessica, called me into her office with this smug look on her face. She said 3 people complained that my costume made them uncomfortable. Costume. Like my culture was a Halloween outfit. I tried explaining these were normal clothes where I'm from. She cut me off and said, "This is America. You need to dress appropriately in shared spaces." She handed me a written warning and said next time I'd face disciplinary action. I went back to my room and cried for 2 hours. I called my mom, and hearing her voice just made it worse. She was so excited when I got into this university. She'd saved money for years to help with expenses. She helped me pack my nicest salwar kameez sets, the ones with intricate embroidery. She told me to stay proud of who I am, to never forget where I came from. And here I was, being told my culture was a problem. The worst part? I started believing it. I'd wake up and stare at my clothes, wondering which ones were acceptable enough. I'd see my beautiful clothes hanging in my closet and feel this weird guilt, like I was doing something wrong just by existing. My roommate even asked if I was okay because I'd stopped being myself. I started wearing jeans and hoodies even though they made me miserable. I avoided the kitchen during busy hours. I kept my head down in hallways. I stopped making eye contact. I became invisible, and I hated myself for it. But I was terrified of another write-up, another humiliating meeting. 3 weeks later, I was studying in the common room when I heard crying from the hallway. It was my floor mate, Maria. She's from Colombia, and she's one of those people who lights up every room. Except right now, she looked destroyed. Her hands were shaking. She showed me a written warning. Jessica had reported her for speaking Spanish on the phone. Too loud and exclusive, apparently. Maria told me she was talking to her grandmother who doesn't speak English. Her grandmother who just got diagnosed with cancer. But that didn't matter to Jessica. Maria looked at me with tears streaming down and said, "I feel like I can't be myself here anymore." And I just broke down because that's exactly how I felt. We sat there in the hallway, 2 girls who'd moved thousands of miles from home crying because someone made us feel like we were too much and not enough at the same time. We started talking, really talking. Turned out there was a Korean student, Minjun, who got written up for cooking strong-smelling ethnic food. He'd been making kimchi stew. Another student, Fatima, got reported for blocking the hallway while praying. She needed a quiet corner since she didn't have space in her tiny shared room. 4 international students, 4 ridiculous complaints, all from Jessica, and we'd all been suffering alone, each thinking we were the problem. Maria and I decided enough was enough. We spent the next week documenting everything, our warnings, dates, exact wording. We reached out to Minjun and Fatima. They'd been too scared to speak up, worried about their visas, their scholarships, but together, we felt stronger. The night before we went to the housing director, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, what if they don't believe us? What if this makes everything worse? What if I get kicked out and disappoint my entire family? But then I thought about my mom's face when she packed my things, the pride in her eyes. I wasn't going to let Jessica take that away from me, from any of us. We took it to the housing director with our warnings as proof. Turns out, Jessica had been doing this for months. The director was horrified. This was textbook discrimination. Jessica was fired within days, and all our warnings were erased. The director personally apologized and said we could wear whatever made us comfortable. Now, I wear my salwar kameez proudly. And Jessica? She's banned from working in student housing ever again. Crazy how quickly policy enforcement becomes a discrimination lawsuit when someone actually investigates.